My friends, today I'm going to be showing you how to play your first song. So beginners get very overwhelmed with all the bits and pieces that are going on when they're learning a song. There's strumming, right? There's left, there's right hand, there's strumming, there's chords, there's chord transitions, and there's singing if you want to do singing in there. And a lot of times what they do is they try to do all these things all at once and they wonder why it is that they can't get it, and then they start psychologically thinking that they're not cut out for this, which nothing could be further from the truth. After teaching over 10,000 one-on-one lessons, number one, I've found this method to be absolutely tried and true, and then also I've never found a student who wanted to learn who couldn't learn, okay? So that's the same for you. Now, what I'm gonna do in this lesson here is I'm going to break these pieces down so that you can have some very quantifiable results and that you can see that. And what it will do is it'll encourage you to keep going. What happens when we try to do too many things at a time is we have overwhelm, and it makes us just feeling frustrated, okay? So we're going to avoid that. And if you use this method, it's going to help you immensely with any song that you learn, okay? So we can break this down into a few different ways. The way we're going to be doing this is I'm going to be teaching you first strumming. We're going to break down first the strumming, then the chords, then the chord transitions, and the chord transitions we're going to break down in 4 different ways, okay? So, and this is gradually going to get more challenging, but you're going to be growing as a player, okay? So, first off, this is going to be a chord progression based off of, loosely based off of the Righteous Brothers' Unchained Melody, so which is normally in the key of C. We're going to do it in the key of G, a nice easy key. And the chords that we're going to be using are G, E minor, C, and D. Okay, those are the chords. While we're on the subject, let's go ahead and start with our chords. I said we'd start with strumming. It really doesn't matter which one we start with, but chords or strumming are a good one to start off with. Okay, so first off, you need to be able to play your chords, a G, an E minor, a C, and a D, right? You should be able to do those things separately. If you cannot, just like juggling, right? If you can't juggle 2 balls, adding a 3rd ball is not going to help, is it? Right? It's not. So if you are trying to play a chord progression, but you don't have the parts down yet, which are the actual chords, being able to play those chords in a way that pleases your ear, then adding them together in a chord progression is not a good idea, okay? You need to make sure that you play these chords separately. So the first lesson here would be to break these chords down one at a time, and if one of those chords are not doing well for you, the whole song's going to suffer, but mentally you're going to think, well, I don't have that song down, when in fact it could probably, most likely, just going to be one chord that you need to get down. So think about breaking this down into the individual chords. Make sure that you can play the G separately, the E minor separately, the C separately, and the D separately. If you can't get one of those, don't move on to this next step, okay? Got to make sure that you have the chords down first. So, assuming that you've done that, a good strumming rhythm would be something like 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, okay? That would be a great first strumming rhythm. It's a very common strumming rhythm. And when we're strumming, the down strum should be on the downbeat and the up strum should be on the upbeat, right? So if we're tapping our foot, when our foot hits the ground, that's a downbeat. So the strum should be in tandem with the downbeat, and the upbeat is in tandem with the up strum, and vice versa. The up strum is in tandem with the upbeat. So that's how we want to do this. So if our strumming rhythm is 1, 2, and 4, and the numbers are down and the ands are up. So we'll do this nice and slow. So we would go 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and. Now we could pick a more simple rhythm, but That's a separate thing that you would want to practice. And what's going to happen is you're not going to get confused that this is messing you up with these chords, because the chords you're doing separately. At least you should be so far. We hadn't gotten to the next step yet. So you practice the chords separately. You practice your strumming rhythm separately, whatever that strumming rhythm is, okay? So we can quantify how we're moving forward with these things. As soon as you start throwing chords at these strumming rhythms, that's going to start upsetting the apple cart, right? So you want to do them separately, okay? So we've got those 2 steps. Doesn't matter which order you do those. Now what we need to do is we need to work on chord transitions. So when we're working on chord transitions, you know, a lot of people, they find themselves being able to play the chords, but when they move from one chord to the next, that's when they get frustrated. Okay, so here's what you want to do. You want to take 2 chords and 2 chords only, even though we have 4 chords. You only want to take 2 chords. We keep on breaking this down to more bite-sized pieces. That is the problem that beginners don't actualize, and they need to. And if they did, they would get much further along much quicker by breaking things down into bite-sized pieces that are tangible and they can get quickly, and that will encourage them to keep going, okay? So the first 2 chords are a G and an E minor. So a chord transition would be to, without strumming, just look at your chord, hold on to your chord, and go back and forth between the 2 chords, and the 2 chords only. Don't bring that 3rd or 4th chord in. So that's the only thing that you're doing. You're not even strumming, okay? So you want to be able to do that. Whatever speed is your speed. Something else that you need to remember when you're playing guitar is whatever is your speed is your speed. We're all on a continuum of learning, and everybody's at a different place. No judgment. It's just you are where you are, and you're going to get better with practice. It's the only thing that moves the needle. So this is exactly how I practice it, is just going back and forth between those chords. Now this whole video, even though it may only be a few minutes, it may take you hours or days to do, and that's perfectly okay. That's exactly what I want you to do. And each time you do this, you'll get quicker and quicker at it, okay? So the G to the E minor. And then we're going to go from the E minor to the C. By the way, any of these chords, any of these strumming rhythms, any of these bits and pieces that I'm giving to you right now, I have a link for you in the description of the video, and there'll be a card at the end of the video. In case you need more help with this, I have a gift for you, and it truly is a gift that's helped a lot of people play guitar. So watch out for that. If you need it, you can just go straight and click down on that link. Okay, so now we're going to move from the E minor to the C. And what I do is I say, just like if you're jumping from one place to another, say you're jumping across stones, across a river, you're going to size up the next stone before you jump to it. You're not going to jump up in the air and then start looking for it. So if you're on this E minor, you're going to think about the chord ahead of time. You're going to visualize it in your mind and under your fingers, and then you're going to grab the chord. If you lift your fingers first and then start thinking about assembling that chord, this is going to slow you down. So you want to get in the habit, and you're building all sorts of neural paths when you do this, by the way. So you want to be able to do that, be thinking about the chord ahead of time, the E minor, and then I land on it. You're going to find yourself going to it much quicker if you think about it ahead of time. So you're going to do that with 2 chords and 2 chords only. In this case here, the E minor to the C. Back and forth. You want to make sure that you get that transition down to where it feels smoothly. Again, this could take you days, hours, weeks, months. It's whatever you're at on the continuum is where you are. So here's a C chord and a D chord. So we're going to want to do the same thing here. And a lot of beginners find this difficult because there's not much that's similar about these 2 chords in the way that they feel. But what you're going to do is you're going to grab one chord, think about the next chord and what it looks like on the fretboard, where your fingers are going to be at, visualizing it, and then you're going to move to it. But you don't move to it until you visualized it first, okay? You don't get in the car and go to the store unless there's a reason to go to the store. So you have to have a goal. So here I'm thinking about the D chord, I'm seeing it in my mind's eye on the fretboard, and then I grab the chord. You build that little habit. It's huge and will serve you for years and years to come. Okay, so let's say you've done that with all of these chord transitions. We also need to have a D to a G. Another trick that I'm going to show you here is if you don't need to lift a finger, don't lift a finger. So for instance, if I'm going from the D chord to the G chord, that 3rd finger can stay right where it's at, and I don't have to move it. Why is that important? Well, it's one less finger you have to move, and it's an anchor. So you have a constant, and this is the way we learn, is we learn through association. We associate one thing that we know to something else that we don't know, and in this case here, this is what we know. This finger's going to stay there, so that's our rock. That's our solid foundation there that's going to allow us to move back and forth, okay? So now you've done those chord transitions. That's the first way that you're going to do it, is by just doing this like this. Then eventually we need to bring that strumming hand in, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are whole notes that we're playing because they hold out for the whole measure. So it's a whole note. It's holding for the whole measure. So that's all you're going to do, okay, after you've done what we've done in sequential order so far. So that's all you're going to do. If you can't get to the chord in time, at this very moment, it's going to take practice, but a great way to practice this is to think about that chord ahead of time as you're counting. 1, 2, I'm thinking about the E minor, and I'm visualizing the next chord, which is a C, visualizing the next chord, which is a D, while I'm counting. And that's how you're going to do all of these, is you're thinking ahead, okay, so that you can be strumming right down on that one chord. Okay, so once you have that down, and let me say, if you still can't do that at the speed that you want to, of course, slow it down. This is called slow it down, break it down. In the course that is my gift to you, I talk about this: slow it down, break it down. Crucial for beginners. Okay, so we're going to do that with all 4 of these chords. The next step is, so we did quarter notes, and we're going to do half notes. So we're challenging ourselves more and more now. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this doubling of the strumming is going to be a little bit more challenging because it gives us less time to move in between the chords. Before we had 4 beats, now we only have 2 beats, right? So we're upping the ante here. We're becoming stronger as a player, okay? And we have less time to move in between each one of these chords. So when you're going from whole notes to half notes, you may have to slow it down a little bit, slow that tempo down just a little bit in order to kind of sneak into those half notes, okay? And then slowly bring the speed up to where it's satisfying to you, okay? It's where you want to be. Then we want to do quarter notes. So then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course we're cutting the beat in half again here, or the strum in half. We went from whole notes to half notes to quarter notes. Now it's a strum per beat, and it doesn't give us much time. Now we only have 1 beat to think about that next chord, or we could be thinking about the next chord. I am right now, but it only gives us 1 chord to actually do the transition. Okay, so it's a smaller gap, and it will force you in a good way to be able to play those chords quicker, okay? Now, of course, as we start, becoming more efficient at this, we'll be able to do it faster, but in the meanwhile, you just need to slow things down a little bit more and break things down as we're doing. And the final step of this, friends, is to take that strumming rhythm that we learned earlier, 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4. As you do this more, you're building neural paths. You're doing this with your conscious brain, by the way, and you're building that pathway, right? You go down that pathway one time, you build neural paths. You do it a second time, more neural paths, more myelin, which is basically a insulation around your neurons, is the way I understand it, and it helps to get that message across better. Okay, so there you go, my friends. That's my method and what I've done for all my students over the years. Please let me know how I can help you. You will really, if this helped you, you will really take advantage of this course that I have made specifically for you. I've had over 600,000 students go through it with amazing success. It's right here for you. Link is also in the description of this video. I'm here to help you, so please let me know how I can do that. Please leave your comments below, like, subscribe if you like these videos and you want more of them. I'm here for you, and I'm passionate about my students. I want to see them succeed. So please let me know how I can help. I'll see you in the next video.